Hello, everybody, and welcome to the bi-weekly run of SMT5V. We were just here 2 weeks ago running this exact game, this exact category, but this time we're on a different schedule, so more people get to see it. This is going to be Shin Megami Tensei 5 Vengeance. This is the second newest Atlas game, the newest in the SMT series. This run is going to be done on normal mode and do the new Canon of Vengeance ending added for this version of the game. Alrighty. So, again, this run's going to be on normal difficulty. It's more fun. I find it more fun than hard mode. And the strategies we're going to be using are completely different. So, let's go ahead and jump right in here in 3, 2, 1, go! So right away, we have a little bit of speed tech with these skip screens. They work very oddly, and also this cutscene here is unskippable. Basically, there's a huge window of lag between when you press the start button to enable the skip to when the box actually shows up. So if you're mashing, what can happen is you'll get a double input there, like you saw, and it'll actually close the skip window, and then there's another huge time lag before the game lets you reopen the skip window. So you really don't want to miss your skips. This game did just get patched this week to the 1.6 version, either 1.6 or 1.3. I might be mixing up my versions. But either way, they added a new demon side quest and a bunch of new demon navigators. More of just a fun update than anything balance-wise or anything that messes with the speedrun. I did go and confirm that the skip we're going to be using does still work. But unfortunately, a lot of those new demon navigators, including Mothman, our beloved Mothman, is locked behind side quests. So we're really not going to see anything new or special in this run.
Will you still take her hand?
So the route you get on that determines the entire nature of the game is from that singular choice right there, whether or not to take the girl's hand. We do take our hand because that puts us on the new Vengeance route.
Thank you.
There is now also a revamped route for the original game, Canon of Creation, at least on normal mode, because that route, and that side of the game, that actual just half of the game, is incredibly difficult to speedrun on the new Vengeance version because of how EXP and scaling now works. Alright, so now we get to name our character. Questing for Glory 8 on RPG Limit Break. And we're off into the actual gameplay.
Hey.
Huh?
So before we actually get to the fun stuff, we've got to go through a small school
Everything
section
all right?
here that sets the tone of the game of the MC kind of being a loner. You know, the typical SMT, your friends are not your friends type of thing.
Go home in groups, right? You should walk with us.
So throughout the game, we're going to be making a series of dialogue choices. And there's two types of dialogue choices. There's the choice where you saw there, where I kind of get an option to pick between two choices in a cutscene that would otherwise be skippable. And then there's your normal dialogue trees that you have throughout the game. It's like, hey, do you want to do this? Yes, no. Those choices do actually matter because they determine your semi-final boss fight and your final ally you get for the last two boss fights. And we're specifically going for the Chaos route because the boss is a lot easier. There's some movement tech here on the world map where I'm moving way faster than the game wants me to by holding down both up and W on the keyboard. Normally, I play this game with controller, but just for that world map sections, you want to be using keyboard because having two up inputs registered at the same time, but are different up inputs, namely, again, W and the up arrow key, the game actually moves you at double speed because it thinks you're pressing up twice, and that's not something you can do on a controller. So, we got isekai'd into what is known as DAT. This is more or less, if you really just want to look at it for what it is, this is the world Nocturne takes place in.
If you wish to
It's
live,
technically an alternate universe, but for all intents and purposes, this is the landscape that Nocturne took place in. Because this game is more or less Nocturne too. So we finally get to a tutorial battle here. This game is going to force me to attack once and then Zio 3 times. The press turn system really works how it does in all the other SMT games, where hitting a weakness grants you an additional, or only consumes half of one of your actions. And we're going to be trying to hit weaknesses as much as we can throughout the run, because, yeah, more turns is more better, generally. This route goes magic build for basically the entire run. We stop pumping magic around the very final quarter of the game, because at that point we basically retire the main character as our main damage dealer, because while he's really, really good for the first 3/4 of the game, in the end game, he is absolutely one of the worst options you can do for damage. Even on New Game Plus, even on Max Investment MC, there's better options to use than him. Because of how broken some of the abilities in this game are. So we're already better than Link because we can jump. Clearly the superior original Switch game. Granted, Link gained the ability to jump in the Switch games, but you know. This intro section is a lot of tutorials about how to, like, jump, how to climb those platforms, how to use the shop, how to save, just so many various tutorials that we've got to get through. It's kind of a shame you can't turn them off, but it is what it is. There is a slight trick I'm going to be doing here with the camera, is whenever you enter one of these cutscenes that's like a tutorial or the game wants you to focus on something new, it's going to pan your camera for you over to what it wants you to look at. You can reduce the amount of time the camera is panning by trying to get your camera into the position it wants you to be in for the cutscene. So that way it doesn't have to pan as much. Saves barely any time because the further away your camera is for where it wants you to be, the faster it'll pan. But still, having it pan less is better. This is the remake. Which is not necessarily just a remake, it's an entire separate game. Because both the original version of SMT5 is included in this, and then the entire new campaign. Which, like, two of the areas are mostly shared for it. So it's like, is it really a full new game? And the answer is yes. Because the two routes ask completely different things of you as a player.
Nice to meet you.
It's all good. Again, it's a little confusing, because, like, there is the original game, and all the original fights and all of that, with just the new stuff sprinkled in. And then there's the version we're going to be speedrunning today, which is really on its own an entirely different game. So here we have our first recruits. These are kind of the most dangerous part of the run. Luckily, we got this guy first try. Unlike a lot of the earlier SMTs, the dialogue choices you make at those trees for recruiting demons do actually make a difference in this game. There's more right and wrongness to them. They're not perfectly consistent, but there is more and less like a wrong or right choice for them. Whereas in other SMT games like Nocturne or SMT4, it's really just completely random whether or not your choice is correct. So here we're gonna see the first use of auto battle. We're gonna be using that to make the game go really, really, really fast. Basically what auto battle is gonna do is it's gonna auto select the best skill for doing damage to the enemy. So if I know what the enemy's weakness is because I've uncovered it during the fight, and then all of my demons are able to hit that weakness, I can just turn on auto battle and the turns go by way too fast. Not that safe. Hold on. Dropping down a save here because, again, recruits are the scariest part of the run. It's very easy to just fail a recruit. Like that. And sometimes Pixie doesn't save you. Alright. So right there, that dialogue tree of like, hey, bow your head, this negotiation is rough, that will always, 100% of the time, lead to recruiting Omaraki.
Young man.
Whereas any of the other options I select during those trees would get me attacked. And that's kind of an example of right and wrongness, where in that particular instance, there are right choices, but there's, you know, 10 to 20 different dialogue trees I could have seen there. And having those memorized is just kind of part of the run. They're in the notes for what we know and what we don't know. So here we're going to be getting into one of the core systems of this game, the Essence system, where you get an essence of your demons from chests or other places on the ground, or from the demon directly. And you can use those essences to put skills on your demons. We're also going to swap around Omaraki and Pixie here. That will set up my turn order better on this next fight so that I can just auto-battle it. Really good recruit stuff. Again, those are the scariest and most RNG part of the run. So now I know that this enemy's weak to Agi, I can just turn on auto battle and they just kind of get thrashed really, really fast. So that was an abscess. Those unlock miracles for you, which are basically your ability to scale your meta. Basically, it lets you unlock things like skill slots, more essences abilities, ways to fill your Magotsui gauge, which we'll go over shortly. Ways to enhance your damage off your various attacks on the MC only by increasing your mastery. So the Magotsui gauge is that red bar you see in the corner. It fills up based on actions I do in combat. Like hitting a weakness or something fills it up. Letting the enemies get a turn fills it up by like 20%. And we can expend that gauge all at once it's full to get a really, really powerful burst turn. By using Omega Togi Critical. And basically what that'll do is it'll turn every attack I do in a turn into a critical. Which means I get a bunch of press turns from critting, and I do a ton of extra damage. And we're going to be using that to get through a lot of some really dangerous fights that in a single turn instead of actually having to do the fight normally. So here's the first major change to the Vengeance mode version of this game. Normally in base SMT5, this is just a cutscene. Now...
What?
Give it a sec. You get an additional cutscene here, and it actually turns into a fight. And this girl, Yoko, shows up. And she's going to be a really good party member for us for most of the game. Okay. You really don't want to see him charge there. That's kind of scary. But that's why we took Tarunda, is so that we hopefully don't die in the turn. Alright, he was angry, but we're alive. Crit. Pixie. Thank you. So he's inflicting me with the Mirage status here, which means my accuracy is greatly reduced, so I need to not attack with the character if I get Mirage. But, that was a scary fight, because of that turn 1 crit. Nobody died and we were able to get through it. So Yoko here is a guest character, which is a new system to the Vengeance mode. Basically, these characters are going to join us throughout the run. And while I can't give them skills, they come with a lot of really good skills on their own. So they're actually really good party members. And they mean we don't have to take extra time to use demons of our own to make it through the game. Alright, so because the moon is full right now, Mandrake is one of the demons in this game who really likes the full moon. So I was able to skip all of the dialogue trees and just go straight into the recruitment. So that was a really free recruit for us. We've got one more recruit to do in the entire rest of the run, and usually it goes fine. So here we recruit a Monozako, and she becomes our demon navigator. Navis are just like demons that follow you around and let you get some additional items on the map. And then here we enter a demon hunt, which is another new system to Vengeance. Here you can come and talk with your demons after you're building bonds of trust with them, and they give you items or get stat increases or change a skill or something. It's all very RNG. And we're not going to use it much for that purpose. The other thing it allows you to do is after you've had a major encounter with, like, a boss or something, the MC can talk with Megami. And what that is going to do for us is it's going to allow us to put 3 stat points of our choosing into our skills. And what that leads to is us becoming very, 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 very strong. Way stronger than you are in vanilla. Because you're just able to do so much more with your stats because of all those extra stat points. Here we're going to sell the farm so we can afford some stuff. We need to get some spyglasses and shards for the next part. And then we're going to go into the World of Shadows here. We're going to learn Stall, Art of Essences, and Demon Proficiency. And whoops, we're going to fuse Demons. So the unfortunate thing about this game is this first fusion cutscene is not skippable. So we have to watch fusion animation. Fusion is pretty much how it works in all other SMT games. You combine 2 demons into one, and it's based off the race and levels of the demons you're using. You can choose what skills to inherit in this game, Each demon in this game has a unique passive ability. Well, not necessarily unique, but they have a passive ability that can grant some really good bonuses to your character. We're going to be using a lot of those throughout the run. And then they also have affinities, which means they're better at certain things than other. Like, Demon here is really good at dark and physical attacks, but he's really bad at light. And that's reflected in the damage he'll be doing with those types of skills, as well as their NP costs. The lower your affinity, the less damage you deal, and the more it costs. The higher, the more damage you do, and the less it costs. If you've played the normal SMT5 game, you can just start with Vengeance. So here we have a Matama. These guys are kind of like your classic metal slimes or your palms, whatever you want to call them. They're pretty high level for the areas you're in, at least at the start. And as a result, they give a lot of EXP when you kill them. They used to give so much more in the original game, but they got really, really nerfed. So they give way less EXP now, which drastically altered the run and routing of it. But they're still definitely worth killing early on in areas. And due to all the extra power we get from the haunt stats and the new level scaling changes, it's really not too bad. Uh-oh. Okay, they didn't charge. So this is our final recruit. Oh, come back. Sting? So I don't know the choices for Polida. This is the only route that recruits Polida. So we haven't really done the science on what choices are right or wrong for him. So I am kind of just guessing here. All right, he did not like anything I did, which is a shame. Pixie is really saving my butt here. Every time she appears, it means I would have failed the negotiation. So, she definitely saved me. Also, this guy just murdered me. Ow. Alright, well, we got the Polida. That's the last recruit. That was pretty bad, but we're okay. And yeah, even if you have OG and you've never played it, I would recommend Vengeance. Because, especially on PC, this game runs literally hours better than the original. For reference, doing the Canon of Creation route, which was featured in last year's RPG Limit Break, it was like a 7.5 hour run, or maybe it's 6.5. The current Canon of Creation route is 4 hours. And a lot of that is just because the game it's not on the Switch. That's really the real reason for 3 hours of time save, is it's not on the Switch.
Be careful.
I'm gonna heal here. Even on PS5, it should be, like, PS5 should only be, like, 40 minutes slower, max. There's really not a whole lot of PS5 runs for us to really compare. So this is another fight, this is an Abscess fight, so... Ooh, this is bad. Uh-oh. Okay. That was kind of scary. That's supposed to be a 2-turn, but that charm and that early miss really did not help. So that was a bit scary. Yeah, it's mostly just the game is running at 30 FPS instead of a nice smooth 144 like my game is right now. The load times are way slower. Some of it is the route is just better because we have more options. Like the late game is way faster.
Young man.
Because we're able to just use Wiggly Worm and Gog the Gog instead of having to like use Siegfried and a bunch of charge skills. Once you get to the final end of the game, more specifically, once you get to level 62, this game breaks in half. With not even the super bosses being able to stand up to the power of what we do. Also, I don't know what your platform you're trying to get it for, but I think Vengeance is literally on sale right now for 30% off on Steam. It might be more. So again, this is going to be the second last abscess we do to unlock some miracles. Good dodge on that Mazan. MC is weak to Zahn, so that fight's a little bit scary because double Mazan really, really hurts. I don't think it wipes you, but it does really hurt. So here we're going to be doing one of the two side quests we do throughout the run. Some runners will say this is slow and unnecessary, but getting the free Leanne here, for how long we use her, it's really, 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 really good to use her. So we're level what, 9 right now? She's level 17, and she joins us for free. And she's gonna be an absolute powerhouse through the rest of this area for us because she's so high level. You can argue like, oh, doing the side quest is slow, all this back and forth to do it. And it's like, okay, yes, but if we didn't get Leanne, the problem is we would have to fuse multiple demons to stay with us for the rest of this area and beyond. So you're really just comparing the time it takes to do the side quest against the time it takes to do all those fusions. And get all the money for those fusions, because we don't have the money for fusions. This is Magic build. Magic build's way stronger on normal. I feel like it's stronger on hard too, but they just... Who knows? Oh, that's a really bad miss. So I was gonna say, you can one-round this fight. But since I missed there, we're gonna have to two-turn this. There we go. If you don't miss there, you can one-turn Obscurus, and it's really, really fast. Speaking on Metaphor, I really dislike the whole stigma of like there's gonna be a re-release of Metaphor, so I'm gonna hold off on playing it. Because Metaphor is kind of the best game Atlas has ever released. So it makes me really sad people don't play it because of that. Because Metaphor is actually insanely good. I like this game more, personally, but I admit the fact that Metaphor is a better game than this. And yes, that's coming from somebody who speedruns a lot of these SMT games and has played them into the ground.
You wished you would.
And that's my praise for Metaphor. So here we're going to be doing some essencing of skills onto this land we picked up, along with just setting up for the next few bosses in general. Hugh. Register this Polita now. Alright.
Young man.
So this next boss is Hydra. This boss is very much the first wall for a lot of casual players. Even on Vengeance modes, it's still a wall. He's a lot easier, but he's still definitely a wall. Especially if you're on hard mode. He really hits hard. Fortunately for us, though, with this Leanne, we're able to take this fight full offensively. We're not going to defend at all, aside from a single Dark Dampener. That's awkward. Alright, well... I don't know what that's gonna do to his AI, but it shouldn't matter? Oh, it did matter. It mattered a lot. Okay. Understood. Goodbye, Polita. That might be bad. Because I don't think he's going to Dark Master, right? Yeah, no, he's friendly. Alright! So it turns out that miss at the start was really, really bad because it took his AI off script and I got destroyed for it.
Young man.
So normally what happened, because he missed, I was able to do so much extra damage without him doing that charge that I pushed him in the second phase where he can't do Dark Breath, which is what you want to null on his crit turn. But since he couldn't use it after I chopped off his head by doing too much damage, he used Frenzy instead, and that, since nobody dodged, it kind of just spiraled out of control from there. There we go, that's better.
This'll do.
Yeah, nobody dodged Frenzy, but we're okay because we hadn't used Fire Breath that time. So... But yeah, as shown, sometimes a single thing that seems beneficial for you, the player, can actually wind up causing your defeat. I think the correct play there was knowing not to overdamage. On that first attempt is purposely stall out a turn, which was really bad otherwise because my Polita was dead because of the Fire Breath, so I would have dropped Racunda and lost so much of my damage. So I might not have won anyways, even if I had tried to wait out that. Very, very interesting scenario I found myself in there. So we're going to be doing a little bit of exploration here before the next boss fight, because the next boss fight is a total pain in the butt, and it is really, really RNG. It's not dangerous RNG, it's just a lot of time-wasting RNG. So we're going to try to get a bit stronger by collecting some things that in the areas that have just now opened up for us. Alright, cool, he didn't get me. So another thing on the movement of this game, jumping is slow. Every time you jump, you basically lose almost all of your forward running momentum. So you want to try to stay on the ground as much as possible. So what you'll end up seeing is me running around obstacles rather than jumping over them, because I don't want to lose all of that momentum. Good platforming there. Oh, I need to fuse pig. So we're going to be turning our Polida into a pig here, and this is Pig's second game, where he is absolutely invaluable to beating the second boss of the game. The first is SMP4, where Pig dulls gun, and the second boss of the game spams gun skills. And a lot of the time, the only way you win that fight is with Pig being alive. Here we're going to be using Pig because Pig... Pig's passive says, all Fizz affinities in your party, when I'm in the party, are equal to mine. So, one of Leanne's bad parts is she's really bad at Fizz, and next boss is Fizz weak. But Pig says, hey, your Fizz affinity is now +2 instead of -2. And that makes Leanne absolutely slap. As well as Demon. And MC. It's just a huge damage increase on all fronts. Because Pig is just that goated. There we fought a Kushimatama. There's generally 2 of those conventions route. They drop items called Gospels, which say, level your MC up. Which, yeah, that sounds good, right? That sounds like an item we want. Our endgame solution basically banks on getting enough of those to take the MC from, like, level 51 all the way to 62. And like I mentioned before, 62 is where the game just ends. That flaming mermaid is very scary, and she's running right over me! So there are flaming enemies in this game. They're technically infused with Mangatsui. If you encounter one of those, they are able to use any Omega Toki skill in the game on you at any point. Meaning most of the time you just die. You can have a 20 level advantage over them, and they will still one-shot. The reward for fighting and killing them is a little bit more EXP and like an incense drop for your demon stats. Very much not worth it in the speedrun, but casually they're a fun challenge and a way to scale your demons a little extra. We're also picking up these statues. These statues say level all of your demons up. And this is kind of how we're going to get powerful enough for the next sections. Is by pumping some levels into our demons so they're not as garbage. Because we're very underleveled already. The next boss is going to be like level 18, and we're level 12.
This'll do.
So now we've picked up the 2 statues and our Kushis. We're ready to move on. We also got some glory for some more miracles here. Glory is scattered throughout the world in those silver apples I was grabbing. We don't need a whole lot of it throughout the run, but we do need some of it. Source finish, beat down the demon. Now that we're past Hydra, we really don't need Bufu anymore, so we're just kind of clearing Bufu off of everything. Demon, why do you not have pull on key? Oh, right, because you used Voodoo on the thingamajig. Oh my god, all these guys are in a really weird pattern because of the turnaround I did there.
Here you go.
Young man.
So this boss isn't very dangerous in terms of, like, killing me. But she can definitely waste a lot of time because she's super evasive and she full party charms you. We gave Charm immunity to MC, but we really don't have a way to clear Charm off any of our party members because we didn't pick up any items throughout the game. So we're gonna just hope we don't miss and hope we get good Charm. It's basically this whole fight. We have one charm here, and we're gonna toss that off Pig here. Dang it, Lan. Because we want to be able to guard with Pig, because Pig is weak to this boss's attacks. Which is the direct opposite of SMP4. Okay. Finally, the charm here. Dark Dampener. Alright, this is over. Alright, that was not a terrible fight. It wasn't the fastest it could be, but it wasn't a terrible fight. I've seen it go way worse. But yeah, you want to try to guard with Pig there, because Pig really is weak to Dark, and getting instant killed is very bad. Okay. I need to do something to help the stream here, so give me 1 second quick. Okay. Apologies for that. Bait that guy so he disappears, run right by him. So next up we have a very fast quick kill coming up here. I'm hopefully going to be able to do this. I accidentally misstatted one of my points into strength earlier. That could potentially make this so this quick kill fails. Because that's how tight it is, but I think we'll be okay. And magic. Oops. So this strategy is something I came up with. This fight used to be like really, really rough because Aligor is so strong, and we would handle the two Andresses first and then fight the Aligor. And it was just really slow and awful. It was like a 4 or 5 turn fight. Then I found out you can kind of just quick kill the Aligor with the right setup here, and enough magic. So hopefully we can accomplish that. Alright, so we have enough magic. So now it's just these two Andresses, and these guys are just a single turn apiece to kill. And they really can't do anything too dangerous to you, like one-shot you with a Grand Slice crit. So good fight there, good fight. The whole clinch to that fight right there is actually using the Ice Gems with Yoko. They do slightly more damage than her Zeo does, and that slightly more damage is enough to actually get you the kill. I am going to, in fact, use this new Testament tablet. This is an item added to Vengeance that lets you reroll your stats. I'm going to use it here because that point I put in the strength earlier could come back to bite me elsewhere, so I want to reallocate that back into magic correctly. Casually speaking, those Testament tablets allow you to switch MC's build on the fly. So if you find like a really cool Fizz skill that you want to use, but you've been going magic, you can just switch. The hard mode speedrun uses it to start the game off with a physical build and then swap to a magic build. Like halfway through area 2. Nice, we got the bug. Alright, you just walk against the wall there and waste 2 seconds. Get up there. So here we're gonna do a quick shop that'll get us good for a while. Talk about some dampeners, dark shards. I do need something else actually, thank you. We're going to use the Fortuna here for the next boss. She nulls force, and the next boss uses a lot of force. So we're going to use that to our advantage.
Is this demon?
We're going to give you Taunt. Jam. And now, as bad as it feels, we're going to go back into the Haunt here to get 3 more points of magic. Because this is my only real chance to get these points before the boss I actually need them on.
I've just...
Fortuna, so she's actually in the party.
Here you go. Hey.
Alright, so this is Nua. She's going to start off turn 1 by using Mazio, so we're going to toss an Elect Dampener. And then from there, she's pretty much just going to use some Force attacks. or some basic attacks, and we'll eventually taunt with our Fortuna to make sure those are all gonna land on her. Awkward dodge, I guess. That could be bad. You know what? You okay? I think I taunt here just to be safe. We're kind of just gonna skip her sacrifice to play at this point. So... Alright, that was... fine, I guess?
Wow.
I got a lot of extra misses there. Normally, she'll charge on, like, the third turn or so, and then you just toss a force dampener so you don't die, but we kind of skipped that whole part of the fight because we dodged too much. Which, I mean, I guess is fast, because I didn't have to menu to the force dampener, at least. So that's the first area of the game done. So now we have a school section here. This game kind of breaks up the areas with a little bit of actual real Tokyo movement and stuff. There's a lot more of that in Vengeance than there was in Original. But it's fine. The next boss fight we have to prepare for is a rematch during that Fizz Week boss, only we're fighting a Glacia Labus at the same time. And that fight is incredibly difficult if you fail a quick kill. You can one-turn the Glacia with the setup I use, but it's very, very... It's the tightest quick kill in the game. And if we miss it, or if we miss in general, things can go very, very, very bad very fast. So hopefully we just don't miss. It's that simple. You'll notice, by the way, that I said Liang comes at level 17. We're still not level 17. And we've had her this entire time. And we used her on every single fight except for that last one. And she is capable of being used on that last one if you get a lucky Onmuraki source randomly from him as he levels up. But that's pretty rare, and she's not that much better than Yoko on Nua, so I just completely like routed out that whole part of it. It kind of messes with her skill slots too, because she needs all the skills she's got. She doesn't really have room. So there are a few cutscenes in this game, like the one right there, and a lot of the ones in this school section where you can actually move before the game finishes fading in. And you can kind of tell that by hearing the footsteps from the MC in the game before you can actually see anything. So it's worthwhile to be holding directions during this part.
Morning.
Coming out of cutscenes so that you're moving as soon as the game is allowing you to. Like that one there, you saw I had to wait for the entire fade in, but the one coming up after this section here does not.
I transferred over here since.
So here's our first major choice. We actually want to say Bethel is scary here, because that's gonna push us toward that chaos ending that we're trying to get to. And for the same reason, we're going to tell Tao to stuff it. We don't want to talk to Tao. She's the law person. So here I've positioned my camera to be in a specific position so that I can hopefully escape this door while the game is still loading in.
Oh no.
Alright, I didn't get the door open, but I was at least running against the door. You can get, like, halfway out into the hall with perfect inputs there before the game actually lets you see what you're doing. But it's pretty difficult because, obviously, you can't see what you're doing. And again, we go chaos. There's no neutral route for vengeance. It's only law or chaos. And we go chaos because the boss on the chaos route is way easier than the one on the law route. And
Hey there.
easier is kind of the wrong word. Way less bulkier is the correct term. The chaos boss has 65,000 HP. And the law boss, I think, has 120,000. And its whole gimmick is, like, you hit it with elemental weaknesses for, like, 4 times damage. But since we're using Fizz at that point, we don't have an elemental weakness to hit it with. And it's a really bad time. In that cutscene there, we basically tell Tao murder is okay. And I'm not exaggerating or joking at all. That's literally what happens. It's kind of funny. Because it's so S&T.
We cannot allow her to do as she pleases. Come, she must be stopped.
Oh, I forgot the Grimoire Daemon. Alright, I'm definitely going with Raccoonda here. Alright, just don't miss. What did I just say? Oh, no. Uh-oh. Oh my... Alright, I think we're just dead. I think we are very dead. Just don't lose your turn to charge? Question? Ow. Oh, and why? I need to force dampen. Get him! Alright. Alright, somehow we're alive. Okay, sure. Uh-huh. That was slow, but I'm actually amazed we survived. Because we shouldn't. By all rights, we should not have. The reason we survived there was honestly because we did so poorly that Nama wasn't in damage mode for their crit turn. We did so poorly that the only attack that we had to eat on that crit turn was the Mirage Assailment, which is why we had the 4 stamina up. It's, like... It was so bad that it saved me.
It's Lamu. He's got one of the schoolgirls.
Using that crit turn at the end might have not have been the best idea, because I need to build back my bar before the end of this section. Hopefully we'll be okay, but I don't actually know how much bar you get throughout this section here. Worst case scenario, I can just stall in a later fight and we'll be okay. Giveth and taketh. The problem is it hasn't giveth. That's the issue here. Leanne is super low MP as well. That shouldn't be a problem. She doesn't need her MP here, really. This is kind of the only MP management section of the run where I've got to be careful how much of Tao's MP I use, because I need her MP for the end of the area. Yoko's MCs and Leanne's I can use freely, though. Yeah, I don't think I get 4 stall bonuses here, do I? Yeah, I don't get bar here. Uh-oh. Concerning. So I did that to get a little bit of bar there, because again, I need bar. And there's only one more fight after this to get it on, so... Also, I think one of the major reasons we lived that Nama fight is because that second turn, nobody lost their turn to charm, and I was able to get a bunch of damage in. That could have gone so much worse. That's not good. Alright, good bar. Eh. Jerk. Come on, man. It's fine. That miss didn't matter. Better to lose the 99.5 roll there than somewhere where it does matter. Right?
Young man.
So from after this fight, the run does get a good bit easier, which is nice. We just get way stronger.
No.
Alright, him hitting MC with mod is perfectly fine. Mud is a unique status effect to this fight that costs you an extra turn whenever your action comes up, so you really don't want it to hit Tal, because she has first action, and you want to be able to get the crit turn in. If you get extremely lucky, you can actually avoid the mud entirely, and it just doesn't get applied. Alright, that was spooky. I'm not dead, though. And the boss is dead. Like, it's a very, very, very minimal chance that you avoid mud, but it does allow you to do a lot more damage on the fight way faster. It's still usually always just a 2-turn, though. I don't think you can 1-turn if you skip the mud. Even you could, 1-turning is kind of bad because you want the bar build from Lamu getting his turn again. Alright, so now we're at Area 2, and there's the Matamas right at the start here that are going to really help us fix our level, because, again, we are severely under-leveled at this point. And their massive EXP is going to help us catch up very quickly.
Oh, you want some? Well, do ya?
Why is it always Force, man? So Force is the one skill type that I don't have at the moment. So it's a little annoying when they're Force weak, because I have to toss a Force Shard, which is more menuing than just pressing auto battle. Was that a double drop? I think it was. So starting from this point on, those Kushi Matamas have a 10% chance to drop 2 Gospels instead of 1. And the more Gospels you get, the better. Because it just saves you minutes worth of movement later to pick up Gospels in the endgame. If you get enough double drops early on, you're able to skip picking up some of the Gospels in the late game. That can save you a lot of time. So, in the old version of the SMT5 run, we would do what's called student skip here by getting past the barrier to the next area using the switch home menu glitch to initiate what is more or less an extended super slide from Zelda, where you just slide right past the cutscene trigger. That's been patched in Vengeance. You can still do the skip in a different way. However, the problem is the plot flags that you were able to trigger in the vanilla version of the game don't exist anymore. They're different plot flags, which means you can't get the game back on track to where it's supposed to be, so you can't actually progress. You can get all the items and all the goodies, but, like, there's not enough over there that's worth it. So we kind of just have to go through this area properly. And it's kind of a good thing, because the way you do student skip now is way more difficult than the old version. But not to fear, we will be seeing how we do skips later on. We are going to be doing a skip in the final area of the game to get to Temple of Empyrean way too early to get really powerful. Because although we can't align any plot flags there, the items alone make it worth it to do the skip. It is, unfortunately, a PC-only skip, though. Because it's done by tabbing out of the game.
Oh, you want some? Well, do ya?
So in this cutscene here, Yoko expresses her hate for cars because due to the invention of cars, people get hit by cars, and that's bad, so cars should not exist. There's absolutely no leaps in logic or anything left out of that argument. Cars are a necessary evil. So here we have another quest that's kind of like the Leanne Absarus quest from Area 1, where you pick one, fight the other, and then you get the free recruit. Much like Leanne, Lilm is way too freaking high level for this area. She's level 33? We're level 22 for reference. And she absolutely slaps. Yeah, unfortunately, Mothman's super cool casually because Gale Charge seems really good. It's just unfortunate that Force is the worst element in the game. Especially in Vengeance mode. And that he's just at such an awkward level where, like, Electric is king. And he's a Force demon. Which is the opposite of what you need. I did look yesterday... because Mothman was added as a navigator to this game. I did look yesterday as to how to get him as a navigator, and unfortunately it takes an entire side quest. So it's not something I can really do for this run. Oh boy. You really don't want to see the Mothman miss there. The double. Uh-oh. No bully? Okay. We didn't get bullied. There we go. Better. Alright, normally that fight is a 2-turn. We'll take the 3-turn, but, spooky. So those prisms are this game's version of chess. They have items and essences in them. And again, essences are kind of what fuel this entire game. Because that's how you transfer skills onto your main character and onto your demons at will and choice. It allows you to not just build a demon when you fuse them, but alter their skills at any point in the game. Which is honestly really, really freaking cool. And yeah, doing both the Leanne and Lilm quests do give us chaos points towards that chaos ending we're after, but they're not necessary because, like, you get enough just from the game alone. It's like, what if you didn't do those quests? And we know what the meaningful choices are, so even without doing them, we would still get the chaos end. so long as we make the correct choices. They do help you if you just, like, autopilot and make a wrong choice. They still keep you chaos, but, honestly, it's kind of easy to get chaos end. It's also kind of easy to get law end. It's not nearly as difficult as, say, getting the neutral end in SMT4 or something, where you really gotta get into that sweet spot range of, like, +10 to -10, or no, it's 7. Is it +7 -7 for 4? I don't remember. But you can just continue to make the kill your friends choices.
Young man.
You.
Some SMT4 neutral is hard to get, but
Now tell me, what part of
the
yourself
saving grace to it is that it really, you can get it by selecting the top option every single time, except for, I think 3 options you don't do that. Well, that's not good. This game is not having it today. We're pretty sure we're dead. Pretty sure we're extremely dead. Okay. Alright, we're not dead. I had to use all the force gems, though, which is not great, but we're not dead. So, in the words of Freedom Pulse, the leader of the SMTV speedrunning Discord, I love Eshev. She's such a freak. Yeah, this game is not having accuracy today. It's just not. We're making it work somehow, but it's been rough out here. All things considered, though, that went a lot better than it had any rights to. That turn I wasn't Fizz Dampened, she could have wiped literally my entire party, and she just did not. She actively made the decision not to do that.
Is this demon? Is this?
Hard mode, I believe, is 40 minutes slower. But the game is ran entirely different on hard mode. I get away with a lot of quick kills and BS that I wouldn't be able to on hard mode. So right there we fused the... Oh my god. Bloom just got 3 magic on level up. That's insane. That's really good. I might... Supposing I don't miss, I might get the quick kill on Fion because of that. Anyways, we just fused Inugami. Inugami is our long dog boy. He's actually one of the most insane support demons in the entire game. His passive ability says, hey, whoever goes after me, if they hit a weakness, they do, like, 20% more damage. And that's a huge damage modifier, specifically on your main character, who's completely jacked on your magic build to hit weaknesses for tons of damage. So it ends up making MC do very, very, very large amounts of damage. Alright, given how this run is going, I'm gonna save because I'm gonna miss this baton. I know for a fact I'm gonna miss this baton. Alright, we didn't miss the baton, we did it. I do want to check my gospels, though. We've got 4? And we've killed 4. Okay, so we didn't get any double drops, which is a shame. I thought we did earlier. It's fine that we haven't. There's enough in the run that you don't need these early double drops. But, I mean, they're nice to get. They are only 10%, though. So if you do the side quest around here for the Lelum with the Mothman capture jar, that is what unlocks the Mothman partner Navi. Unfortunately, we don't really have a good... I mean, we kind of have a way to do that side quest, but like it would be really slow. So unfortunately, we will not be doing it. And we will instead just be going through this area without a Navi. Almost all of the new Navis they added, actually, I'm pretty sure all of the new Navis they added require a side quest to unlock them. It's not bad casually, but speedrun-wise, killing 10 Mothmen would be pretty slow. So a lot of the menus are done with turbo, and that makes them really easy to mess up, but they do be fast. Up on that hill right there is where the Mothman is once you do the quest. Unfortunately, we can only look on in sadness that we cannot get the Mothman Navi, because I totally would for you guys. I would absolutely do it. Oh my gosh. I didn't save there, and I was like, it's fine. I've never died to Basilisk. I don't need to save. Maybe I should have saved. That was, I mean, Unigami's on 1 HP. This game, man, it's just not having it. So here, Fion's gonna crash the game.
Shall test your strength.
There we go. That load is... only on Vengeance mode, that load is way too long for actually no reason. Of course you'd hit the MC. Why would you not hit the MC? Why would you do the one thing that if I miss, you could kill me? Alright, come on, Realm. Come on, Realm. Nah! No! 3 minutes? Oh, we're dead. Alright. So, that strat kind of relies on you not missing twice. So you don't have to re-up the Raccoonda. But I was short maybe like 30 or 40 damage there.
Test your strength.
Game's just not having it, man. Not forget the fire dampener. There we go. I was thinking trick turn, did I? No, I didn't. Okay, so that's why I failed. There we go. There's the easy 3-turn. How do I know when to use dampeners? Yeah, all the bosses are basically consistent for the most part. So long as you're pushing enough damage. As long as you push enough damage, the bosses will generally always do the same things. And when you get to the point of the run where they don't do the same things, they die in 1 turn. So it doesn't matter. What they use on a charge turn is always scripted, though. And that's kind of one of the reasons why this game is considered really easy, is because once you have that knowledge, boss fights are kind of trivial. But, like, that's just kind of how JRPGs are, is once you know everything, the game's not nearly as hard as when you don't know everything. Alright, we didn't aggro any poltergeist there. That's really good, because now I don't have to worry about them coming through the floor here. If they see you, they can come through the floor and you can't see them. So you might get an encounter. These guys gotta go spots. Yeah, some enemies, to, like, combat what they do normally, have some really, really wild skills that come out of completely left field when they use their charge turns.
This'll do.
So here we're going to be picking up the Dith and Shijai essence along with some Soma drops. These chests are kind of out of the way, but they have some really good stuff in them. Yeah, Odin using Mabufudyne? Like, why? Abdiel using fire.
Multiple.
Honestly, with Yakumo in this run, they do the reverse mix-up, where in Vanilla, when he charge turns, he uses electric on you, and he uses Fizz otherwise. Where in this version of the game, Vengeance, he uses Electric normally and Fizz when he charges. Like, they do the mix-up on you. Alright, so through this section here, we don't have any missing to worry about because there's really no fights. This is just basically going to be another 10 minutes of just pure movement. Because we have to run around this whole fairy forest area, collecting some golden apples and doing a side quest, and a number of other pickups that we need to get through the next section of the game. So this cutscene right here is why student skip doesn't work anymore. This cutscene was added to Vengeance for Yuzuru being angsty. And unfortunately it exists in both Canon of Creation and Canon of Vengeance. So student skip is truly dead on both versions of the game. But it prevents Oberon and Titania here from spawning and giving you this quest. In vanilla SMT5, these two were just always shown here, and you could use this quest to realign your plot flags and make the game think you did everything when you actually didn't. Also, there's an Xbox controller on Oberon's wings, just saying. So there we pick up an Ice Sutra. Sutras are items that are very, very rare throughout the game. And they allow you to increase a demon's affinity if it's already positive. So, if you have those passives that say, like, hey, everybody in the party's affinity matches mine, if you buff that demon's affinities even higher with Sutras, that means that buff gets carried over to all of your other party. And that's exactly the reason why we're picking up the Sutras. Is we're going to be using that strategy later on to boost our ice damage through the roof. When otherwise our ice damage would be very, very poor. So this is Inouen. She's a lot of fan favorites. She was also added as a demon Navi. But unfortunately, to get her as a Navi, you have to do her quest, which is actually one of the slowest quests in the entire game. This apple here is extremely easy to forget if you're just autopiloting. Nekomata noises for the fans. So these vending machines I've kind of been picking up throughout the run, those give you relics. That mouse mummy I just picked up, those sell for a lot of money. I believe all of those vending machines have fixed payouts. The only RNG is how many of the payout you get with certain miracles. So we specifically pick up a few certain vending machines that have really, really expensive stuff in them. Because they're kind of on the way, and we can use the extra money. I don't particularly need the money in this route, but it's very nice to have a buffer of money if I get ambushed later on, because sometimes when you get ambushed by a demon, they'll talk to you and be like, hey, if you pay me, I'll let you go. And there's some enemies that if we get an encounter with them, we are just flat out dead. So having the money to be able to pay them off is pretty nice. So this is the Detective Pixie side quest. This is going to give us one of the abilities we need for the end game called Strategize. Basically, we just have to talk to a bunch of NPCs here after flying around as Pixie, and to determine who stole the shiny golden apple or shiny silver apple, which is just a glory apple. But this is going to unlock Strategize for humans, fairies, G-rays, and beasts. And Strategize is kind of one of the silliest things they've ever put in a game. What Strategize says is, you can pass turns and summon and desummon demons without it costing any turn actions. And while that seems like good on the surface, it's way more broken than you think it is. And we'll be seeing examples of Strategize in the late game. Yeah, it really is like a Yu-Gi-Oh! Battle. It's very much Pot of Greed. It's very much Pot of Greed. If you don't know what Pot of Greed does, it allows you to draw 2 cards. We'll be getting a preview of Strategize in the next area, but it's not really going to pop off until the end of the game. So we're going to pick up Pyro Jack as our Navi here. I'm not fusing here, so... We're going to pick up Pyro Jack, and he's going to be our Navi for the rest of the game, since the game's not going to force us to get a Navi anymore. But we still kind of need one. We're going to restock our dampeners here and stock up on some shards. And we're also going to buy classics. We're gonna get those demon haunt stats. This will be the last time we come to the haunts for stats. We're gonna continue to get the prompt and like get all the stats that we could. Like, we're gonna continue to rack up these events. We're just not going to do them because we don't need the stats beyond this point. We're already strong enough. And more, like, doing the time to do the stats and go to the haunt and stuff, it's just not worth it. So, in Canon of Creation, the boss of Shinagawa here, or this area as a whole, is probably one of the hardest fights in the entire game. In Vengeance, this might be the easiest fight in the entire game. It's extremely night and day difference. And you'll see in just a second why it's the easiest fight in the game. If you have anything that drains or repels ice, you win this fight. And that's just it.
Stay alert.
That's the win condition here. As long as you don't miss, which is why I saved. Because knowing this run, we're gonna miss. I've never missed on Yuzuru before. I've never missed. But that doesn't mean it can't happen, right? So you drain the ice attack there, and that prevents the entire mechanics of this fight from happening. Normally the dog is supposed to taunt you, and you can only target the dog until you kill him, and then you get a chance to do some damage to Yuzuru, and then he revives the dog taunts you again, and you kind of get into that loop. But if you drain the ice shard he throws at the very start of the fight, the dog can't taunt, and you just get the kill. There is, Mr. Trotty, there are, biases to the Demon Navigators and what they give you for rewards. There are two types of partner spots in this game. There are pure RNG ones, and then there are fixed ones. The fixed ones will always be the same regardless of Navi, but the RNG ones are based on the Navi's personality type. Some are better at giving you gems, some are better at giving you ambushes, some are better at giving you healing items, some are better at giving incenses, some are better at finding Matamas. They do actually have various personalities like that. It's not really relevant for the speedrun because we don't take any random partner spots because they're random. We can't really route around them. So they're not really worth grabbing. So now that we've finished Shinagawa, we have this section back in Tokyo where we have to kind of run around Tokyo talking to people to figure out what's going on with this weird fortune teller and people turning to salt and crow wings and all this stuff that doesn't really connect together until you realize that angels are evil. Like always. Here we're going to see Amabi. Amabi is one of the best demons in this game. She's trying to become an idol. She's got a very beautiful singing voice. And that's basically her whole story. She has 3 top fans after you do her quest. You are her 3rd top fan, because the first 2 are her mom and dad. How worth it is getting vengeance? Absolutely worth it. Like, 100% worth it. This game is very worth full price because, again, the vengeance route of this game, which was not in vanilla, is literally a full game. It is a full game on its own, and then you're also getting the port of the original game. And also, this game is already going on sale, so if you wait for the, like a Black Friday sale on it, you wait for the Steam Winter Sale, you should probably be able to pick it up for 30 to 40% off. But again, it's worth full price, because you're literally getting 2 full games in one. And also, the game just plays so much better off the Switch. Like, it's night and day how much better it runs. How much content? The Vengeance route is literally a full game. Some of the areas are reused, which may make you feel like, oh, this isn't new. But what those areas ask you to do and the fights in them are very different than the vanilla game. I don't know how this game runs on the... I don't think this game runs any better on the Switch, but like the the PS5 version or the PC version run way better. Version is fixed up? No, it's not. I'm sorry, but it's not. The Switch version still runs very poorly because it's the Switch version. So now we're in Area 3. The first thing we're going to do is go back to Area 2. This is because now we have Yoko and Tao. And they came back literally overnight and got like 10 levels in a single night. They power leveled and got all of their skills upgraded. So now we can clear this abscess very, very quickly and easily. And you know what? This abscess can kill you, so I'm saving. Nice. Too bad instant kills in this fight don't matter. Alright. We didn't miss. We did it. Alright, so now we're going to do a huge fusion section here. This is basically going to do all of our fusions for the entire next area. And that was also the last abscess we fight in the entire run. So we're going to go in here and learn a number of abilities. Get some skill slots, get some more essence skills, get some dark mastery. Unicorn Kunda. There's a Taichi with a life ring. Shikihoji, Agilao, Budo. Loa, Agilao. So Loa is a hugely important demon to this next section of the game. Loa says that status and instant kills have a are twice as likely to hit. So it takes our instant kill chance from 30% to 60%, which is a lot higher than it sounds.
Is this demon?
And then a Quang to be pruned up.
Is this demon?
Alright, cool. We didn't fusion action. Let's go. So now we have a little bit of an awkward menu here. Loa, Peach, Beast Eye. And then we gotta back out of here, go back into the shop, buy another Bicorn Essence for Beast Eye. Beast Eye is an ability that says increase your accuracy, which, as you can see, is kind of important in this run. So buffing our accuracy so we don't miss as much is very useful. You could just, just play and don't get unlucky, but Bicorn. Alright, so now we're set up with some dark damage, and we've got our Loa. So now we can fight this power here. We're going to be fighting a lot of powers in this area. So having dark damage and having double instant kill chance so that you can just do that to them. That power has like 600, 700 HP. We just did one attack and he got instant killed. That's why we want Loa in the party for this section. Is because he facilitates that. He makes it happen. Nice Sakumatama. I could have fought that Sakumatama, but I'm literally running over this direction, and there's a Sakumatama right on the way. So, I actually have to be mindful of EXP here, because I don't want to get too much EXP anymore. Because if I get too much EXP, I'm not going to be able to power level as hard later on. Due to how EXP scaling works. Basically, if you're 10 levels lower than an enemy, that's where the EXP scaling ceiling caps out at. And we want to try to abuse that ceiling as long as we can. So we want to keep our EXP low going into the final area, which really comes back to, like, now. Everything we do now is EXP towards that final area, and we want to get there at a certain level so that we're still at that 10 level threshold. Because we're going to have to do a singular grind fight in the final area to get from, like, level 45 all the way to 51 in a single battle. We literally are going to get 5 to 6 levels in a single battle. And that doesn't happen if you don't have your EXP set up properly. Like, if you're too high level, you won't get that many levels, which means ultimately you're going to fall short, even though you started at a higher level. You're going to lose so much experience off that scaling factor that it's going to mean you're going to end up less overall. And that's really bad, because if you find yourself in that situation, you may not have enough Gospels to get to that level 62 threshold that you need. So here's some more powers. We're going to do the exact same thing, hopefully. Get on. Get on. Loa just kind of cracked. I mean, not the best time to take a drink of water. Also, Dormarth is like one of the best demons in this game for her field noises. Everybody needs more excitable dog girls in their life. Taking the top route along the track here to avoid the Mara down there. Mara is also a new Demon Navigator. I haven't confirmed it, but I believe you need to do the quest to defeat him here for him to show up as a Navi. And that's absolutely something we are not going to do, because getting that quest in the first place requires you to do 3 other quests. So yeah, Mara as a Navi, not happy. And also not very appropriate. Much rather have Mothman. Yeah, he's a lot smaller as a Navi. He's still one of the bigger Navis, but like he's not as large as he was there.
Object.
He's still, I believe, larger than the Nahobino when he's next to you, but it's kind of different because he's like horizontal and not vertical, right? I don't know. I haven't messed around with it too much. So here we're gonna get a new mechanic to Vengeance, called a chain fight. These are, you can get these with normal mobs, like we'll be doing later, but this is the only forced one. The longer a chain fight goes, the more sets of reinforcements, the bigger the EXP and money bonus you get from winning the fight. And since this one is forced, and we're going to get 5 level ups from this single fight, because of all that bonus EXP. Here again, just relying on those Loa instant kills. We use crit turns so that our damage is lethal to these, if it comes down to that, but you're just kind of hoping you get lucky instead. Alright, so there's 5 level ups from a singular battle because of the chain encounter mechanic. And it's that fight right there, because this fight exists in the Vengeance route, we have a lot easier time going through this area. You don't get a fight like that in Canon of Creation, and that makes the third area in Canon of Creation so much harder to speedrun. Because you don't get a free 5 level ups from a single battle. Kind of funny how that works, right? You don't get 5 level ups. Whoops. Don't fall off the cliff. Take the rail. So those rails were also added to the Vengeance version. They exist in both routes of the game, both Canon of Vengeance and Creation. And a lot of the time, they serve as shortcuts to really ease up on backtracking. Like, if you take a rough encounter somewhere and you want to go back to the Fountain Heal, normally you would have to backtrack all the way to where you are. But in a lot of cases now, you can try to find one of those Magatsu rails, and that can take you right back to the fount, generally. And once you unlock them, they're two-way, so you can take the rail right back to where you were as well. Or if you find a chest that you can't pick up because your inventory is full, but you want to pick it up later, sometimes you can rail right back to the chest when you have the inventory space for it. Can you not run right in my direct path? Thank you. Those Kumahatas move very erratically and very quickly, so it's hard to predict where they're going to move and adapt accordingly. So here we meet up with Nu and Yakumo again. They kind of let us in a little bit on what the Kadishu are planning, but not really. The Kadishu being the main enemies we've kind of been chasing down the whole game because they're trying to end the world. Because why wouldn't they? It's JRPG after all. Picking up 2 magic mirrors there. Those will keep us safe on a later fight. Because the fight we're going to be using those on, the boss gets 3 press turns. Meaning if I just toss a dampener to avoid damage for whatever she's going to use, it's not going to remove all of her turns, but it's going to remove my dampener. So I'm going to be pretty vulnerable on that 3rd press turn action of hers. But if I toss a magic mirror instead, the repel will get rid of all the turns for me. Uh-oh. Uh-oh, that's an Orthrus. Okay, didn't kill him. So Orthrus are extremely scary. They can one-shot our MC by like 300 health. Like they will absolutely one-shot me if I get hit by them. So that was spooky. And yeah, Demi-Fiend is just kind of chilling in his own pocket dimension the whole game. We will not be seeing him. Getting Demi-Fiend is not part of the any % route for, I would hope, obvious reasons. But he is part of the 100% route. And if you're interested in the 100% route, I will be running that at Longathon on December 9th. Yeah, both the Area 3's musics are really good, in my opinion. And then Area 4 is really good as well. Bad Gur Cycle, bad Gur Cycle. No Bulgar. No Girdle boy! Okay. Yeah, 100% does both route. 3 total playthroughs. We do both Law and Chaos end of Canon of Vengeance, and we do True Neutral end of Canon of Creation. We do not do Law, Chaos, Bad Neutral of Canon of Creation because it adds 9 hours to the run for literally no content. Like, literally no content. They would just be New Game Plus playthroughs at level 99. It would be nothing... nothing too exciting. So if this run comes in under estimate, we do have time to kill. I do plan to show off the Satan fight. I have a save right there to show it off. And it's really fun. Because it's a 100% consistent Satan fight. You literally cannot lose the fight. There's no RNG to it. Aside from the very first turn. And the strategy I use would work on normal or hard mode as well. It would not work on Godborn, but Godborn is silly for other reasons. Oh, Pasta. Why are you like... No, I don't have Zama still. I want to keep my 4th gem for the 4th area. But yeah, the only RNG on the Satan fight is Hui Megiddo arcs on turn 1. And based on his AI, I'm pretty sure it's not possible for him to Megiddo arc the one demon that we don't want to get Megiddo arced. Because I think it targets based on HP. And the demon we don't want being targeted has the lowest HP. So I don't think he's a viable target. Alright, we've now picked up a bunch of essences and stuff from this area. So we're going to be putting a bunch of skills on our MC here. And we're also going to be learning our last Miracles of the Run, Light Mastery. 1 and 2. Naga, Ditchmadoon, Loa, yeah. Tarkaja, yes, Dorima, and you get the Fula. Megami, gets Wataru Kaja. Wands gets Diff. So we need Fire Block. Alright. Yeah, generally he'll always target your Nahabino, but it really is Vit and HP based. It's very much a stat check, so he's not going to target your weakest character. He's going to target your strongest to see if you pass the stat check. But yeah, the fight is I think 5 turns. 5 turns, 100% consistent. Alright, so now we go to Egypt, and Egypt is, like, the worst part. I hate Egypt so much. This first fight in particular is just so awful for some reason. Like, it's not even that bad anymore, I just hate it. Critical, Party Fang, Kaja, Ice Jab, Kula, Party Fang, Isis, June, and Dorima. Haru, June, Dune. She's not dead. That's really bad. She's recovered. That's also really bad. Yeah, see, that's why I don't like this fight.
Let's go.
Crap. Crap. Don't murder me. Well, you listened at least. Yeah, that was not great. Isis instant recovering from the mute is really bad. And that's why I don't like this fight. This next fight though, is our first instance of strategize, and prepare to be blown away by it. Ice Sutra. Dark Sutra.
Stay up.
So as long as, again, we don't miss, this fight is free. Just don't miss. It's that simple. Hula, Maharu, Ice Breath, Kunda, Maharu, Ice Breath, Fire Block. Megami. So this boss does read your weaknesses. So the reason I didn't have Inugami out on turn 1 is because he has a fire resistance. Yeah. And because of that fire resistance, it would make the first turn an RNG between a Tis skill and a fire skill. But since Loa doesn't have a fire resistance, it always makes it a fire skill. Alright, strategize. And now MC can take 8 actions. 1, 2, 3, 4, and strategize is fair and balanced. Alright, beer me.
Hey. It's a risk. Do you think we can really afford to believe a demon's promises? Or not? You know what demons can be like. Would we be fools to trust them? Huh. Hey.
Alright. What option did I pick there, by the way? There is a chaos option where you say demons can be trusted. I was just rotating the stick to pick any option as fast as possible, so I don't actually know what I picked.
Hey.
I got a right stick. Metaphor's soundtrack, I agree with you, it's not bad, but it didn't stand out to me. But that's also because it's not my preferred type of music either. Like, I have no negatives to say about it. It just didn't stand out to me much because it's not my type of music. Like, I'm sure once the full OST releases come January, there's going to be a lot of gems in it that I slept on. But, as it stands... Okay, gotta make sure I get all these red orbs here, because that's going to make getting the bar in the next fight more consistent. I mean, I've got 3 houses and Engage on my phone, so I can't talk about not having Fire Emblem music on my phone. I also play Fire Emblem Heroes, and have since day one. It was a mistake. I will fully admit to that. But, yeah, it's gotten out of control. Anyways, Angel's bad, Mastema bad, Yakumo Nua probably bad, Kadishju bad, just sucking Magutsui from the humans is what's going on in the story. So we're going to have to go through and take care of all of that. Also, Yuzuru angst because he can't protect his sister. So here, user is just like, hey, the leader of Tokyo is my knowledge. I'm going to become a Nahobino, just like you, so we can fight against this. And, I mean, unfortunately for him, he's just going to die. So, we are going to use him on this next boss fight, though, because we are level 39 and he's level 47. He kind of does a lot of damage. This fight used to be awful. It's a lot better now, but you can, you know, still miss. So let's just not miss. That's simple. Dampener. This fight's also an absolute banger. Drop. Dampen. Kunda. charge. This turn we go in. Because Karn's Bang does 1 billion damage. And GG. Good fight. Good fight. So here we're going to talk about how Yakumo is using Nua to his own ends, and we're just like, he's just like, we don't need to side with demons, and we're going to call him a complete hypocrite. We're going to let this play out because it's funny. Just for a little bit.
He makes a good point.
So explain
You
Nua.
hate the people who side with demons, but you're fine with using their power yourself? Sounds a lot like an excuse. So that you and Nua can be together. You're just a hypocrite.
She's like, well, can't deny that.
Really?
Stabby stab. Get called a hypocrite? Just stab the thing that's making you a hypocrite. Easy. This game has a lot of really good cutscenes. We'll be watching one later as well. Yeah, JK, by the way, she's actually just fine. She won't be fine later, but we're going to be skipping the cutscene where she's not fine later. Alright, here we're going to do some fusions. I accident all the time on this fusion session, so I'm going to save. Because accidenting here is really bad. I'm going to fuse Doggo with Shark Karakaja. Then I'm going to make a Thoth with Return to Life Spring.
Is this demon?
Oh, and, yeah,
Is this demon?
Okay. Nubis. Come on, Return to Life Spring.
Is this demon?
Alright, cool, we didn't accident. We dump Safeguard and Rooted. Yeah. Express. And Rooted here. You get Petricorn and Wakakunda. Loa gets Mabadoon. I need to swap to Incubus Affinities for the no charm. Alright, and we're off. Third block. Why is there an Arumatama there? He's the Yosef. Ooh. So this next part, we're going to be going into the Silent Hill remake. We're going to get jump scared by the boss on the world map as we're running around, and she's going to try to ambush us. And if she ambushes us, we're dead. That's just it. Because her AI is set to crit fish you, and she does a very good job at that. Why is there Sakimatama there? All these Matama replacements, man. Ah! Hello.
Young man.
So we do actually have to play this fight a little defensively here because, again, she crit fishes on turn 1, and you die if she hits the crit. So we actually have to use guard here.
Allow me to make amends. Witness now my full power.
Because she can't crit through the guard, so she immediately gives up and just starts basic attacking. That's what we're going to use those magic mirrors to get rid of all her turns. So... Alright, we didn't get crit. Good. Crit turn. And blow her up. Chomp. Alright. All according to the script. She can crit one-shot you. Not the MC, but Yoko or Hayataro. If she high rolls and gets the crit. Because all of her magic can crit on that fight. Regardless of Omega Toki, that's just her passive is magic and crit. So, you kind of need to just not get very unlucky and get crit there. And get one shot. Even if you do, you generally have enough damage to finish the fight, but it gets a lot scarier. Mostly, you have enough damage because Hayataro hits like an absolute truck with crit turn active. Since Carnage Fang is actually the strongest physical attack in the game, single attack strongest power in the game when it crits. So crit turn Carnage Fang does a lot of damage.
Soon with
Gonna enter the shop here. Cash. Max out our smoke balls and dampeners. We're gonna buy the max amount of light gems we can and light shards. We're gonna buy some extra force gems. We're gonna buy some black gems, and we're gonna buy some fire gems and some dark shards. I forgot some essences here. And I also just didn't enter the shop. I always forget to buy these essences. We need Megami and Zochi. Alright, so this fight is also RNG. We're going to be going for a taunt strat here, and turn 2 is a 50-50. You're very... It's not exactly a 50-50, it's way more likely in your favor, but it can go wrong. Hopefully it doesn't. 2 weeks ago, this fight went wrong in every single way it could. So, hopefully that doesn't happen this time.
If you refuse, then the sacrifice shall be carried out by us, the Kadishtu.
But casually, this is one of the hardest fights in the game. Lots of people struggle with this fight. Alright, cool, we didn't get charmed. That puts us a really, really far ahead in this fight's turn. Come on. I don't need to... Oh, no, I know I do. Second Tau. Alright, hit the 50-50, please. We didn't hit the 50-50, and we died. Oh, man. So, what goes on there is, one of the bosses uses a skill called Axaclaw that is 2 to 4 hits across all of my party members, and I need that attack to hit somebody I Tetrakarned. If it doesn't hit somebody I Tetrakarned, you get Dekaja'd, and then you are at risk of dying like we just did there.
Then the sacrifice shall be carried out by us, the Kadishtu.
So it's 50-50 for each of the 4 hits to hit once. So it's way higher than a 50-50, but, I mean, you just saw we missed it entirely there, so... Alright, this time we got a Mega Charmed. There we go. Alright, now we're good. Alright, so now we just need the boss to not ignore Hayataro's taunt, and she'll just keep crashing into the Tetrakarn we put on him. And the fight will be over. Good. Alright, there we go. But yeah, again, the 50-50, I call it a 50-50, it's really not. It's a 50-50 multiple times. Anywhere from 2 to 4 times of a coin flip to have it succeed. And out of that, you just need to get 1 success out of 2 to 4 50-50s. So more often than not, you're totally fine. And then on the times you're not, you just die.
You know, use the...
So there's one more fight now in this entire run, and it's the very next fight that's going to be a total RNG fest. The next fight we like to belovedly call Dark Block Bros because it's 4 enemies that are weak to dark. And if you remember how those power fight went, when they were weak to dark, we absolutely slaughtered them. It's gonna be a very different scenario here for Dark Block Bros. Because they cast the ability Dark Block, which means you're not allowed to use dark skills on them. We gave MC an ability called Safeguard that says when you miss or attack into any sort of, like, repel, null, drain, where normally you would lose a bunch of turns for that, or even your entire turn, Safeguard says as long as you have this skill, you won't lose more than 1 press turn. We're going to use that fact to take down the Dark Block Rose's shield, and then start hitting them with dark attacks. The problem is, these guys can also just straight up kill me at any point. Because they also use electricity and light. Loa is one shot by pretty much anything here, and he's the one who's doubling our instant kill chance, which we are really, really relying on for this next fight, so we hope that doesn't happen. And then the MC is weak to electric, and we could get one shot. Dark Block Bros are so much RNG. Sometimes you just die after 1 turn, sometimes you die after 8 turns, sometimes you win in 1 turn, sometimes you win in 4 turns. It's a total crapshoot. This is the worst fight in the run. And there's actually no way to make it better because it's an enemy ambush. Alright, they all attacked Hayataro, which was really good. They charged, which was bad. But my Loa's not dead. Okay. Tetrick on the Loa, I guess. Okay. Come on, kill the power. Yes! Alright, don't shock bounce. Alright. I think we're through Dark Block Bros. Nice! Alright, that was a really good Dark Block Bro fight. Like, that was honestly one of the best Dark Block Bro fights ever. The only way that fight gets better than that is if you instant kill, like, all 4 of them on the first turn. We are through. Uh-oh. Orbis, no bully. You know what? I am just gonna pay you. This is one of those scenarios where these guys can really, really murder me. And the reason I pick up that extra money from those vending machines is so I can pay off stuff like that. And instead of risking dying, I can just be like, alright, here's 10k, bye. So this is the game's dungeon that replaces DKC. It's called Shocken. The gimmick here is mazes and Lippy rooms. The game will flip you upside down onto the ceiling and reverse your X and Y. Or your X, so left becomes right, right becomes left. Not in terms of like your actual controls, but just where you are on the map and stuff. That was rude. I guess we recover here. Because I kind of need Hayataro. Overall, though, this place is a lot shorter than Demon King Castle. It only takes 11 minutes to go through here, where it takes like 18 to go through Demon King. So none of these demon spawns are random. They're all in fixed locations to try to make you navigate in a certain way.
Young man.
Also, the reason we've got a new form now, I kind of glossed over that, is when we fought the Kadishu, we actually lost. Aogami got eaten by a giant dragon, and he was kind of the reason we were able to be in Nahobino. So instead, we've now fused with the Prime Minister of Japan, because Dazai got brainwashed by Mastema and ended up killing Yuzuru in cold blood. It's a really cool scene, actually. So he was without his knowledge, and we were without our demon form, so we were like, hey, let's just put 2 and 2 together, because you're kind of the same sort of unit as Aogami was, so we're able to fuse with him. And now we look like this, and we have a whip sword. Wiggly woos! Unfortunately, Wiggly Snack does not get any love in this route, but, in the true neutral end route, we use a lot of Wiggly Snack. So I took this encounter on purpose. There's going to be some 3 walls in this dungeon of enemies like that, where it's faster to get the encounter and then smoke ball out of it, rather than do what the game wants you to do, by either going around or waiting, in that case back there, waiting for the Pazuzu to notice you, and then everything notices you and chases you, and you run around in a circle to get them off your tail, and you can go through to the end. It's just better to get the encounter and then run. Also, Nua, yes. When Tiamat awoke after the Kadishu fight, Nua also just bit the dust to save Yakuma. That's how she repaid getting stabbed in the stomach, is sacrificing her life for his. So this fight's pretty easy. I can't really die in this fight, I can just lose time. Because these guys are going to take a bunch of setup turns, and as long as I don't kill one of them without killing the other, they won't go completely hard on me. I have severely messed this fight up, though. So I'm not going to be able to get the quick kill here. So if you kill one of those cherubs before the other one, they'll start spamming Judgment Light on you, which has a pierce effect and is severe damage, and it's kind of ridiculously strong, and you get murdered very, very fast. But if you leave them both alive, all they'll do is just like continue to set up and try to use force attacks. So you really need to kill them both on the same turn to avoid getting Judgment Lighted, because we absolutely cannot survive that. Like, there is zero world where we survive Judgment Light.
This'll do.
Wiggly woo. That was a little spooky. If I fell down there, I actually don't know where to go to get back up because I've never fallen down there. So we already have the menu in here, so I'm just going to menu again here rather than use some chakra drops. Here we have an Abdiel fight. This is literally just copy-pasted from the Canon of Creation route. So MC is still innately taunted here. There's Light's Descent every 3 turns, and fire damage for charge. Got her. Alright, with that, we are on to the final area of the game. So throughout this third area here, there was a good amount of EXP from Mitamas I kind of just passed up. I could have gotten a much higher level for all the stuff I've been doing. But I actually wanted to be a level 46. Because level 46 is exactly 10 levels lower than the enemies we're going to be fighting for our grind fight in the next area. If you remember how we fought those powers and it was a chain encounter, and we got 5 levels off of it, we're going to do the exact same thing in the third area. Only it's not going to be a boss fight. It's going to be something we set up on our own. And yeah, Abdiel, the best part of Abdiel is when she pierce armors the MC on first turn and gives herself that second Raccoon buff without you even having to put it on. That's the best part. It's just like, thanks for making this even easier. Alright, so everybody needs to make sure they take a look, because Tokyo is fading like the setting sun.
Sorry, I know it's a surprise.
So in this run, it's also not a surprise that Tao's alive here, because she dies 3 times in this route.
Come, look. Tokyo fades like the setting sun. Time is almost up.
So for whatever reason, that singular line of this cutscene, despite not having a choice associated with it, like this one or the first one,
Let me fight at your side.
is unskippable. They loved that line so much, they made sure you could not skip it.
The path.
Oh, that's a really good one. I like that. It's okay that Tao died a lot because she's gonna carry our butts here. We would not be able to do this grind without Tao. I say grind like it's gonna be like some huge, long, lengthy ordeal, but again, it's literally going to be a single fight. And we're gonna get, ideally, 5 to 7 levels off of it. Well, it's more that she has Mahamon, and, I mean, we could technically get Mahamon on our MC, no problem. We could just teach over Hamon here. Because we have a source with it, and we could just use the MC in Loa. But, Tao also has Megidola. which is really, really powerful and helpful for this section. So we need to chain together 4 to 5 encounters here, and the best way to do that on encounters that you can actually kill is with this Nebrios over here. What Nebrios does when he notices you is he summons a bunch of Decarabios that come to, like, aid him as he runs away. So, but if we take the encounter with the Nebrios, all of those Decarabios are going to be treated as follow-up encounters. Alright, good start. So what we really don't want to see here is Titania and Fafnir. We also don't necessarily want to see Lucaros. We'd rather see these Decarabios, because they're higher EXP values. Holy crap, we got the full. Oh, but there's a fucking Fafnir! Oh no. Fafnirs are really scary, because they can one-shot you. And they're incredibly bulky. Alright. Alright, so that was the best possible grind. We got 7 levels. We got max encounters on follow-up and 7 levels from that. One fight, 7 levels. Because this game is cracked. Okay, I need to see how many Gospels I have. I have 8. Okay, so I only need a single drop here. Because I have 6, which gets me to 59. My goal is 62 again. I have 6 that gets me to 59. I have 2 more that I can pick up off the ground in a chest to get me to 61. So I just need a single drop from this katana here. And we got a double drop anyways. Cool. So that means I'm going to be 63 then. No bully, no bully, no bully, no bully, no bully, no bully. No bully! The Whip Sword's hitbox is really, really awkward. So sometimes it's really hard to hit that chest without getting an encounter. So there's a second Kushimitama in this area that I could go and fight for more Gospels. But since I already have enough to get me to 63, again, the goal is 62. I don't have to take the minute and a half to go fight that other Mitama. I can just go. Which is obviously a lot of good time save. Oh, gee. Sure. Thanks for the good luck. Though the luck's gone. Everything from this point on is pure skill. There's no more RNG in this entire run. Aside from a fusion accident. That's the only RNG that's left is fusion accident. So there's one of the Gospels I can pick up. Actually, I lied. There's a little bit of RNG left. But it's not until the semi-final boss fight. So the reason I use that attract pipe, by the way, is because the attract pipe, while it makes demons notice you easier, it significantly increases the chances for follow-ups, which is really important for that grind fight we did. Without an attract pipe there, you're lucky to get 2 follow-ups. For reference, with it, you usually always get 3. Sometimes you even get that 4th follow-up. And the difference between 3 follow-ups and 4 follow-ups is literally 2 entire levels. So you really, really want to maximize your chances to get all the follow-ups you can. Like, the way it generally goes is, if you get 2 follow-ups, you have to reload. If you get 3 follow-ups, which is average, you generally, unless you got really lucky on your double drops, have to go and kill the additional Atama that's, like, 90 seconds away. And then if you get all 4 follow-ups like we did this run, you generally either don't need to kill any Matamas at all, or you overlevel. You get overleveled because you, have so many Gospels that you're going to go beyond 62. And there's nothing wrong with going beyond 62. It just means Gog Magog's a little stronger. So this area, unlike the past 3, is completely open world. You can do anything in any order. There's not really a storyline or an intended path through the zone. So we're just kind of running around, grabbing everything we need, and now we're going to do a skip into the final dungeon. The game does not intend you to do this, and it will be very clearly evident you're not supposed to do this. But this is how you do student skip, and now this is known as Empyrean skip. I tab out of the game, I move the window, and what happens when I'm moving the game window, because the game's in window mode, is the game thinks I've tabbed back in, but since I'm moving the window, the game is still paused. And that allows me to get enough distance to get trapped behind that pillar. So when the game tries to force me back by walking the MC back, I'm stuck on the pillar. So, it can't send me back through the cutscene trigger. And eventually the game just gives up and lets me go. Student skip in Area 2 works the same way, only you get caught on a car, and it's way harder. It's almost frame perfect to, when you have to tap out to be able to get stuck on the car, because it's so far away. Getting stuck on that, bridge post there is way easier. So now we're in the final dungeon. We're here way before we're supposed to be. Everything here will one-shot us. But there's a lot of goodies here we want. Notably, in the old version of SMT5, you would have a stoma for this area. Meaning, you could just put on a stoma and run straight through these mobs, and they would just disappear because that's how a stoma worked. We don't have a stoma anymore. Because it's now a miracle, and it costs way too much of your bar to use. So I actually have to interact with the mechanics in this dungeon and these enemies to make my way around them. Yeah, even on normal. The lowest level enemy in here, for reference, is 72? Maybe it's 76? I'm not actually sure. It's been a while since I've fought stuff in here. But, yes, everything basically is 20 levels higher than us, and can one-shot us. And since we don't have a stoma, that's a lot scarier, because I can't just completely avoid encounters. I actually have to dodge and bait and actively avoid things. Whereas when you would do that skip on the original SCP version, you could just you could just cast a stoma in here, and all of a sudden you're completely safe. No, levels do not change between normal and hard. It's just damage formulas that change, and additional modifiers that get put in. So coming up here, we're going to be doing the scariest thing in the entire game. But if we get it, it's also the coolest looking thing in the entire game. And I cannot explain to you why the game works the way it does and allows for this. But because it makes no sense. You will absolutely see it makes no sense. But this is just how hitboxes work. We are going to save because, again, this is extremely dangerous. Do not try this without practice. Alright, easy. Easy every time. I promise you that is not as easy as it looks. But, you happen to have the exact pacing you need to run through those Ongo keys right as they swipe, so their hitbox for their weapon is not on the very thin line you are running down. And then you dodge to the left at the very end to avoid the one behind them. And it also only works on that set of Ongo keys. You'll notice I'm never going to go for that strat again, because if I try it anywhere else, the hitboxes won't align that well. As well as the timing of them noticing you, and, like, there's just so many stars that align that allow you to do that. That, you can't really replicate it anywhere else. It looks so cool when you do it, though. And it's also really fast. It saves about 5 seconds to do that. But, again, if you miss, your run is over. Because those Ongo keys are level 78, I think. They're either 78 or 81, I forget. But they will absolutely thrash you. If you get hit by them. Uh-oh. No boy. Oh, I'm so dead. Oh, I can't actually afford this, huh? Yeah, I figured. Well, that's a shame. But had I taken that offer, I wouldn't have been able to afford the rest of the run, so I didn't really have a choice there. Ah, dang it. Now I'm off alignment.
This'll do.
Again, had I paid up there, I wouldn't have been able to afford the the rest of the run. Because I've already paid off too many demons. I have spare money, but I don't have that much spare money. That was like literally the last encounter too that I would need to dodge. It was rude of them too because they gave me hope and then they like crit right at the end and got an extra turn to kill the MC with. And yeah, God Gaming comes very, very soon. And if you don't know what God Gaming is, you will be delighted to see how broken this game was. If you thought the strategize we used earlier was busted, you haven't seen anything yet. Our runners are routing Fantasio. So Fantasio is in the works. There is one person who is basically doing test runs of their route now. There's one person who has a nearly completed second route. And then there's two other people who are still working on it. All of the routes are completely independent and different from one another, but the general idea is, at least through mid and late game, is Peerless Stonecleaver and MC Prince to more or less one-shot everything with Mania Bullet combo. Early game is still up in the air for how that's being routed. But Metaphor speedruns in general soon. Alright, see, this time he's much more off to the side, so I can get by him. Alright, we are through the temple now. Get the warp. How do I not get lost? I basically have just gone through them so many times, and I know exactly where I am on the map as well. So this is the final dungeon proper. There's no encounters or anything in here. It's just kind of a walk to the end. Normally when you get here from the story, there's like 3 trial fights you have to go through, but since our plot flags aren't aligned for those to be existent at this point, we can just go right through them. Like one of the triggers is right there, and we just, you know, run on by, because the game does not expect us to be here yet. But also A. This BGM is A. Oh, was my moon cycle gonna be bad? No, I should be fine. Yeah, there should be enough time to get this off the full. All good. So if you've noticed, we haven't upgraded our stock at all the entire game, so we actually are going to have to part with Anubis and Loa here to get the stock room to do these last fusions. Nocturne is 3. SMT 3. Alright, let's do it. Final fusions. Party, goodbye Loa, thank you for your service. Goodbye Anubis, thank you for your service. 10 Gospels 3. Use Lamia.
Is this demon?
Use Gog with Charge Enduring Soul.
Is this?
Arhabaki with Charge Enduring Soul. And Great Aura.
Is this demon?
Use Titania with God plus Lilum. With Petrichar and Enduring Soul.
Is this demon?
Don't.
Use Megami.
Is this demon?
And then use Shijai.
Is this?
Alright, that's all the fusions. We didn't accident. Buy back Gog. Alright, yeah, you see I have 22k left. If I had paid off that Chi-Yu, I wouldn't have had enough money here. And I don't have a way to get more money. So, would have been bad. Let's dance. Shijai and Burn Soul. God gets Figgy Slash. Dragon's Eye, or Hectiz, rather. Go Titania. Boom Boost. So I'll take Drink Dart. And Life Spring. That should be everything. Now we go back to Egypt. So I'll explain the Sheep Demon in a little bit. Sheep Demon's really, 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 really strong, but not for the reason you would think. That essence real quick. Okay, you have everything you need. You have everything. You have not Tripper yet. There we go. And God gets everything. Alright. back to Taito, because we actually need to do the story now.
That's right. That's right. Hey!
Yo, 3 strength and 2 levels. This GOG is cracked. Three Vit GOG, come on. Alright, so, we're gonna be going around and getting some demon statues here, so I'll explain what we've all just done. Because basically we've activated cheat mode, for the game at this point, because Arahabaki is the second strongest demon in the game, and Gog Magog is the strongest demon in the game. You confuse Lucifer on New Game Plus, but Gog Magog is still stronger. He is unquestionably the strongest demon in the game. The only demon that can hold a candle at max advest to Gog Magog is Nue. And Nue is conditional, Gog Magog is not. So, what Gog Magog does is his passive says, when I crit or hit a weakness, and the important part of that is when I crit, my damage is increased by the number of weaknesses in the party. Gog Magog himself has a ton of weaknesses. Arahabaki has a ton of weaknesses. And that sheep, Jijai we fused, has a ton of weaknesses, the most in the entire game. And what that's going to do is it's going to push Gog's crit damage through the roof. But it doesn't stop there. That's only what we're going to be doing at the start of this section. There's more. Arahabaki's passive says, when you summon in an ally, or you summon in a demon, their status, their buffs and debuffs, their charge effects, their shields, their Tetrakarn, their Makarkarn, now matches mine. So if you buff Arahabaki and swap somebody in, that person will get the same buffs. And we're still not done yet. Combine that with that ability we talked about earlier, Strategize, that says passing turns and summoning demons does not cost a press turn or an action. And you can kind of see the pieces start to slide into place for what that means. Titania is here because you need 2 of the required clans, which are Fairy, Beast, or Jirei. Gog Magog's a Jirei on his own, so that's one piece of the puzzle, and then Titania is the second piece of the puzzle to activate Strategize. She's really just here for moral support. She debilitates, she's not terrible, but she is here for moral support. And then the attack we're going to be using on Gog Magog is Figment Slash. And Figment Slash says, I only have 50% accuracy, but every time you hit with me, I crit. So that always activates Gog Magog's passive. Optimal Ariok setup? I think so. I forget what Ariok's passive scales off of, but I'm pretty sure Gog is stronger because he doesn't have a cap to his scaling. There's infinite turn setups you can use to make Zhao Gogan stronger than Gog, but infinite turn setups are very RNG to actually work. And also can only be done on Satan. More damage, demons to the party. Yeah, no, that stacks. That's not as strong as Gog's. Okay, Battle Sutra, Gog Magog. Strength Incense, Gog Magog. 53 strength is acceptable. Also, Jijai's passive. Jijai's passive says the person who acts after me has a 1.5 times modified hit rate, which completely offsets the hit rate of Figment Flash when combined with Dragon's Eye. We are at 99.1% hit rate on all of these endgame fights with Figment Slash.
A moment.
Because of Jijai. And while it's not 100 or 99.5, which is the soft cap, it's still pretty dang good.
A question, if you will allow. For what purpose have you come here?
So here you'll see the lesser version of how strong this is.
I would rather put your might to the test. Show me the power upon which Lord Lucifer pins his hope.
So again, this is the less powerful version of what we'll be doing later. Again, less powerful version. Less powerful version. Cannot stress that enough. At 50% accuracy. With Dragon's Eye and Jizai's passive Helmsman, which says increases the accuracy for the ally that goes after me, the accuracy of Figment Slash is 99.1.
A moment.
Versus these bosses.
You want to see what happens to fools who dare to cross Bethel? Come face your end.
Because you have to remember, I also have double debilitate, double Suku on Gog. Again, less powerful version of what we'll be doing later. Like, this is just God Magog on his own. This isn't Arahabaki yet. Like, we haven't even used Arahabaki yet. Also, what I'm doing there with taking those encounters after the fight is I'm using a skill called Evergreen Dance on the MC to rebuild my Magotsui gauge so I can do that exact same setup on the following fights. Because I get a lot of bar from ambushing an encounter, and then I get a lot of bar from using Evergreen Dance. Whoops.
Say.
On hard mode, no. On normal mode, yes. Though our Gog Magog in TNE is a lot stronger. Gog Magog, I think, is level 88 on True Neutral Lucifer. Whoops, I forgot to get the text.
A moment.
Here we are.
Young man.
You jerk.
Your turn. Go.
Go low. Okay, we hit. Good. So I specifically want to sandbag on this fight. To get Nectar Evergreen Dance in. Because that's going to set up me for the next fight. Also, something I forgot to mention, we gave Jijai affinities to the MC, so now both MC and Jijai have the most weaknesses in the entire game. More than Slime.
Young man.
Justice means nothing without power. And now that I'm the one with the power, time to dole some out.
It's jammed! Right there is why we give Drain Dark to Titania, to always null that turn. Again, going to purposely sandbag here. To get bar back. Alright, now we're on to the last 3 fights of the game. And these fights are where our Habaki is going to start to come into play. But first, we need to mess with our Gog a little bit. Because he's not actually good enough for the endgame. We have to go further beyond. So, Megami. We're going to give Mana Spring to Gog Magog here. And then we're going to back out and register Gog Magog. Go back in. And we're actually going to do something crazy and give up Figment Slash and Dragon's Eye for Health Thrust and Megaton Press. Like, we just gave up the skill that was carrying us for 2 way worse skills. But don't worry. We have a plan.
A moment.
So this next boss is resistant to Fizz, but it has 3 adds that are not resistant to Fizz. So AoE skills are actually better here. And what we're going to use is a combination of Crit Aura and Summon and Desummon to make sure our Megaton Press crits every single time it gets used with 100% accuracy to kill all of the adds.
I know.
And when the adds die, the main boss uses her own health to restore the adds. So it's better to damage the adds than the actual boss. Because you do about 6,000 damage a turn, or in action, instead of 3,000. Baki, Crit Aura, Jijai. And you're also going to get to see us passing around Makarakarn here to make sure we're safe on this next turn by buffing Gog or our Habaki with it.
Let's go.
Get on, moron. Oh, I forgot to store my stock. Whoops. That's an optimization error. So you can see here, I killed the 3 heads, and then the boss revived them. And that did 6,000 damage to the boss instead of, if I were to use Figment Slashes directly on the boss with Impalers, I would only be doing about 3,000 damage a hit. With this, I'm doing 6,000. When I was explaining how Gogmagog and Arhabaki work, I was running out of my way for a minute and a half to get a Battle Sutra. The Battle Sutra is what allows this strategy.
Let's go.
Without that Battle Sutra, you don't hit 2,000 damage here on the Megaton presses.
Your turn. Go.
But yeah, this is what Arahabaki enables, is this sort of nonsense. Giving Crit Aura to Gogmagog every single action because of the freedom to pass and unsummon and resummon as I choose because of Strategize. This is the culmination of this strategy.
Let's go.
Of all the pieces working together. You can see here the boss is almost dead. The boss only heals 2 of the 3 heads there because the boss doesn't have 2,000 HP anymore. That's Evergreen, Debilitate, Tanya.
Your turn. Go.
Guard. Boss always charges the turn. Swap the Gog. Also, this is why I gave Mana Spring to Gog. You can see he's only got 54 MP left. Without Mana Spring, he does not have enough MP for this strategy. Alright, so this is the sickest cutscene in the game, so we're gonna watch it.
If you wish to live, take my hand. My being became Magatsuhi. I was absorbed by Tiamat. When she fell by your hand and reformed, my essence escaped hers. I have reclaimed myself. But when we were bound together, I learned something. As a primordial goddess, she is nearly immortal. Yet her divinity is rooted within her identity as a dragon. If you seek to best a godly dragon,
This still happens if you don't take his hand. You nod and take his hand anyways.
Power is yours. Now let us rise, young man. This time we end it.
Got him. This is what happens when you channel a fraction of God Magog's power. Alright, so, God Magog, I love you. Goodbye. Just kidding, welcome back, God Magog. So what I did there is I parted with my current God Magog to buy back my old God Magog that has Figment Slash on it. Because I no longer need Megaton Press, but I do need Figment Slash.
Young man.
But I will not accept defeat. If I must, I shall strike you
Banger
down
alert.
myself.
So this is the boss that's different between Chaos or Law. Chaos fights Maximal, Law fights Tehom. And Tehom has 120,000 HP. This boss does not have 120,000 HP. Also, I messed up. I did not do my party accordingly. Whoops. There we go.
Young man.
But I will not accept defeat. If I must, I shall strike you down myself.
Oh, is there a black screen? Is it on my end? Or it's not on my end? Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Oh, no, wait, no, it's still working. Okay. Don't scare him. When I reset, okay. Alright, so now instead of crit aura, we can use charge on our Gog Magog swaps, which means we're doing 7,500 damage per hit here. Oh my god, this Gog is so strong. He's actually hitting way too hard.
Let's go.
This is kind of bad. So, okay, that was a Laurel. Good. I need more of those. I don't... this Gog is technically strong enough to one-turn Mastema here. I don't want that. Because I need to build my bar up for the next fight. Somebody was saying, hey, this fight's really funny if you let Mastema's passive go off, which says the more weakness or crits he takes, the more press turns he gets. That's exactly what we want in this run. Is we want him to get a bunch of turns here.
Your turn. Go.
Alright, we're fine. That's definitely 2 hits, even if he dioramas.
Let's go.
Alright, so we're gonna taunt with MC here, and now he's gonna crash into MC a bunch of times, and that gave me 3/4 of my bar back. And there he goes. So because I gave him all of those press turns, and instead of repelling light, I null light, I was able to get 3 nulls, which gives me so much of my bar back. So now that I'm set up for the final fight. Party sort by race. Party is MC, Titania, Jijai, Arthur. Alright, so this is the final fight of the run. This fight takes 2 turns. Time will be on the final hit. This fight is a little scary if he focus fires Titania or MC, but generally you're okay. Chaos. Alright, easy. Whoops, that is the wrong character. Gog, I appreciate the hustle, but I need you in slot 3, please.
Let's go.
Yeah, the OST doesn't drop in this fight unless you're fighting the super boss version of him. So this time we're using Impaler's Animus to get over Lucy's 5th resist with our Figment Slashes so that we can continue to do absolutely bonkers amounts of damage. Because I kid you not, if we weren't using Impalers here, Figment Slash would be doing about 100 damage.
Your turn. Go.
Alright, GG. That is time. So if we're still ahead here, I know this was closer to estimate than I wanted. We can do one more fight and show off that Satan Soup boss if we have the time. I know we started early, but I'm not sure if this run was fast enough to let us have the time for that. It is only about a 5-minute fight. Is that only 3 turns? 2 turns. 2 turns. The true neutral and Lucifer fight is, I think, 3 turns? I think is 3 turns. And that does all 3 phases in a single turn. Alright, I'm getting the go-ahead. So I'm going to close the game here, because I can't skip the credits. I'm going to go grab my 100% notes. Because doing this fight without notes is not something I have memorized. It is the most complex fight in the entire 100% route. This is the upper limit. No, actually, it's not even the upper limit. It is close to the upper limit of what you can do with Gog Magog. So the key players to this battle are Baphomet, Konsu, Yoshitsune, we don't use Yoshitsune, Norn Dith, Jijai, Gog Magog, Naho Biho, and you don't necessarily need him, he's just the best fairy, and Demi-Fiend. This can be done on normal or hard mode. It is 100% consistent. You do have to switch it up a little bit on hard mode to get the extra turn via Yoshitsune. Alright, Impaler Flurry, Toxic Cloud, get bodied, pass, Pierce Roar, Demi-Fiend. Pass, Luminous Barrage, get Will. Path, Summon Death. Chaotic. Pass, Debilitate. Luminous Barrage, and Guard. Oh yeah, Loa is really important too. Swap Loa. Debilitate again. Mach-Champ with a Roddy. Swap the Norn. Mach-Champ with Tanya. Those are 100% hit rates, by the way. Swap Naho. Service Loa. Luster Candy. Luster Candy. Strategize. God.
Your turn. Go.
Battle Attack Sheep. Figment Slash for 19,000 damage. Because what we've done here is we've used Konsu and Baphomet at the very start to get Impaler's Glory, which is the best charge skill in the game. Oh, that was a mistake. Am I just dead now? I am just dead now. Alright, well, I messed it up. Yeah, we're just dead. We're very dead. Alright, well, anyways, we're not going to try it. That was basically a win. I just messed up because I was talking. We used Baphomet to get Impaler's Glory, which is the best charge skill in the game with a Pierce effect, onto Arahabaki via Konsu's passive that says when somebody dies, all of their buffs go to everyone. So that gets it onto Arahabaki, who normally couldn't have it. We use Demi-Fiend and Chaotic Will to have the amount of press turns Satan gets. And that makes it so the MC dodging with Taunt and Luminescent Mirage plus Intercalation means I'm fully nulling all of the enemy turns, and also getting an additional press turn for doing so. We've got 104 luck on MC, Makajima plus 9, and 96 luck on Loa in Makajima plus 9. That allows for a 100% mute rate on the Titania and the Harati, which ensures on the turn that Satan eats one of them and charges, they can't actually perform any actions, like debuffing you or detaching you and getting rid of all your setup. And that gets you into a situation where you just do the swaps with GOG and then the fight is over. But if you're a dummy and you accidentally swap out Arahabaki, like I did, you just lose. So I cannot win the fight from here. We will die horribly. Right, still Strategize active. But that's basically the strategy that we use. And again, this works on hard mode. You have enough damage on hard mode to do this exact strategy. The only difference is instead of doing the Debilitate and the Luster Candying, you would use the passives of Amanazako and Azazel, Tisbatilt, and Belial to oh my god, how many dirt do I have? You would use the passives of those demons to do the buff all on your strategized turn, because you need the extra press turns to set up elusive, to set up your there we go. To set up your additional press turn on the damage turn. So yeah, that'll be it for me. Apologies for the death on that final fight there, but we did the strategy and you got to see a little bit of it. I just messed up. But that is SMT5 Vengeance.